Morning. Welcome to my stream. It's Monday and it's time to get back into roguelikes, I guess. Let's transition over before I forget to my main display. Here we go. Okay. Yes, this is where we left off last time. Here it is, fixing targeting. So what we did last time was to make the map. Oh, what's causing this panic? Was that from before? Oh no, panic now. Okay, interesting. Maybe it was due to it being shut down for a little while. Oh, and that's right. It still has the default maze map being built. So we should switch that back to random map. And this is the way I do it. Kind of cheating, but it gets the job done. Generate the WASM, and let's try creating a random map. Hello. There we go. Alright, so this is a nice random map. A bunch of rooms, some of them circular. Connects them up. And yeah, everything seems to be working fine except for there. Alright. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Len is 3440, so that's the size of the map. The index is -1, it looks like. And that's on line 84. Yeah, this is what this was supposed to protect against. Right, we're getting a mouse map position, map width, and map height. So let's just print those out. RLTK console log format pos.0 is this, and pos.1 is this, and we'll just see what they are. And then this will fail here and panic. Okay, so let's do that. We have to regenerate the WASM again. All right. It's generating a completely different map. That's fine. There we go. So we panicked right away this time. So we have 0 and -23 for the position. So how did we not end up with a bug before? Right, it's clearly going negative here. So I must have misread something in the code that does the translation here. Maybe not this one. That's the fixed target. Okay, so somewhere here. Oh, I missed these two lines here. Okay. Or these two checks. That's what I missed. Let's fix that. There we are. So we have to say or mouse map pos 0 is less than 1, or mouse map pos 1 is less than 1. And reformat that. We don't need this anymore. Right? And then let's try one more time. Generate the WASM file and refresh our screen. And that should fix this bug. I guess we can turn this off now that we've gotten all that working. Where is that put? There's a global variable somewhere, and I'm just looking for it, and I don't see it here. Maybe it's in tutorials map. Show. Yeah, show mapgen visualizer. That was it. So let's just turn that to false, and that should turn off that generation. It was fun to see that when we're adding new map types, but we don't need it every single time. Okay, so now, oops. So now, oh no, we're still getting a panic. And it's the same, oops, that's not going to help clicking there. Same line. But now it's just going too far, right? This is saying it's trying to get at 3480. And that's what we did here. Oh boy. Yeah, mouse map 0, pos.0 is greater than map width, which is what I have. Well, this is greater than or equal to map width minus 1. Which should be the same thing. But we'll change it. One more time. And actually, one of the things we could do with the map drawing thing is instead of having it built in constant, we could just have it as a feature. Now that panicked immediately. Len is 0, but the index is 0. This is game state RS73. Oh, because I turned off the thing. Okay. Let's fix that too. We should be able to turn off the map drawing stuff without it panicking. Yeah, we shouldn't do this. This should be else. I wonder if that's also something I missed when I was adding that in. Yeah, we shouldn't go through this if the mapgen visualizer is off. All right, one more time. One more try. And here I thought I was going to fix targeting, but we're doing this instead. Okay, so that started up right away. We got a nice map. All right, no panics yet. Let's go to the left. It's a goblin. We defeated the goblin. Got a magic missile scroll. Oh, that's good. It'll show us how our targeting is off. If we encounter something to target. Alright, this seems to be working okay. I don't like the fact that the map edges aren't drawn with the wall. There must be some other bug going on somewhere that we should fix. But this seems to be working fine, and it's not panicking as we walk around the maze, which is good. Oop. Walked right onto that without even a second thought. Okay. I think we're good. One thing it would also be nice is when we approach the edge of the map that it doesn't shift over to see all this undrawn area. The player just moves from the center towards the edge, but I guess that's a design decision that you can make. All right, so we fixed these bugs. Let's get these checked in. I like checking in with Clippy first. Add source. Git commit sm fixed. Tool tip crash panic. Let's say panic, and disabled map gen display. Okay. So So now we're going to fix targeting. If you play for a bit, you also notice if you try and use Fireball or a similar effect, the targeting system is completely out of whack. It's still referencing the screen map positions from when they were directly linked. So you see the available tiles, but they are in the completely wrong place. We should fix that too. Oh, the available tiles. So if I try to cast Magic Missile, oh, right. This is the region it thinks that it's going to draw them. So how do you, I forgot how you escape out of, it's not Q, it's not X, it's not escape. I thought there was a key you could exit the, oh, you got to click out of the region, that's right. So now if I go up here and I try to do it, it's all the way up there. Okay, so this is what we're going to fix. In GUI RS, we'll edit the function ranged target. All right, so we were playing with that file just before. There it is. So what changed here? We have min X. Oh, and then we have to get the screen bounds for the camera. That makes sense. Max X, min Y, max Y. Camera, get screen bounds. And the context. Okay, so we might have to import, use it. No, it worked. Okay, maybe we used it from before. Prepolize view sheds. Select target. All right. This. Oh, what changed here is this: the screen X and screen Y. Okay. Oops, Y. IDX Y minus min Y. And then we just change this to screen X and screen Y. Like that. What else changes? Draw the mouse cursor. Okay. We get the mouse position and we get a mutable mouse. Map pause is mouse pause. Mouse map pause. And mouse map pause 1 is min Y. And then we have to check. Well, valid target is false, that's the same. Check available cells, which is going to change to mouse map pause. Like that, and then valid target is true. I added the break there, and then down here, valid target, mouse pause, right? So that stays the same. Yeah, that looks all the same. Okay, so let's try this out. We'll have to dig up a Fireball or Magic Missile scroll. There are a couple of warnings, so what are the warnings for? Oh, we're never using max X and max Y. Okay. We can fix those. On 245. And just change these to ignore. And that should fix those two warnings. Yep. But meanwhile, we already built the WASM, so we can just reload that and see if we can find a Magic Missile scroll somewhere. Alright, let's just wander around until we see something. There's a door. Something along this corridor? Nope. Oh, there's something. What's this? It's a confusion scroll, so that doesn't have a ranged. I think that's just directional. Well, we can... Oh yeah, no, okay, that worked. Okay, so if I click out here... So confusion does have a... Oops. What's this? That's a Magic Missile scroll. Okay, so if I do confusion now, yep, it's still centered on the player. Go down here, just one more try. And it's centered on the player. Okay, perfect. Looks like we can click it on one of the walls too. That doesn't make sense. You'd want to eliminate the walls from your... You don't want to cast confusion on a wall. Alright, so that's working. Looks like that, oops, targeting's working fine. And then we're going to do variable map sizes. So let's check this in. Git add source. Fix targeting to take map camera into consideration. Good. All right, so the next one is variable map sizes. Now that our map isn't directly linked to our screen, we could have maps of any size we want. Word of caution, if you go with a huge map, it will take your player a really long time to explore it all, and it becomes more and more challenging to ensure that all of the map is interesting enough to want to visit it. An easy start. Let's start with the simplest possible case, changing the size of the map globally. So go to map.rs and find the constants. So in map.rs, we're going to change these from 8043 to 6464. 64 and 64. There we go. When you cargo run the project, it should work. We've been pretty good about using either map width, map height, or these constants throughout the programs. Okay. So let's build that. And see if we get a square map as a result. Well, it's running. It hasn't panicked yet. We do have a kind of an interesting map. Let's grab the magic mapping scroll. And see, yeah, so this is kind of tall. Ooh. Yeah, this is that thing where, you know, you can go off the edge of the map here. I don't like that at all. Not having a wall drawn. That's something I guess we could fix in the this code, the code that puts the dots up. We could just have it put a wall up along here and along here. To say, you know, if the value is -1, or if it's the width and height, and then draw a wall, some sort of a hard wall. All right, but this seems to be working fine. Yeah, see the way this looks kind of ugly, just going off the edge like that. All right, but it's working. At least appears to be working. So what's the next step? Removing the constants. Okay, now delete the 3 constants from map.rs and watch your ID paint the world red. All right, before we start fixing things, we'll add a bit more red. So what are we doing here? Let's take a look. So my IDE won't paint everything red, but it will. So I'm deleting all those 3. Oh, we're going to add a width and a height to this. Okay. But map count is going to change to this map tile count constant. Is this the only thing they added here? Tiles width, height, reveal tiles, visible tiles, blocked tile constant, depth. And those are just 2 hash sets. That's fine. But everything else, okay, so map, so this is going to be width and height. We get those for free. And then let map tile count is width times height as view size. And then all of these change to map tile count. Right? Map.rs also has an error in draw map. Fortunately, it's an easy fix. Okay, let's take a look at draw map. Yeah, so this is hard-coded at 79. Maybe that was something we were supposed to change before, but this, if x is greater than map width times map height as I32 minus 1. We want this to just be map width, right? Why is it doing... I'm going to put map width in here. -1. As I32. Instead of multiplying it by the height, because I don't think that's correct. Alright, spawner RS has an equally easy fix. Remove map width from the list of use imports and find the spawn entity function, and we can obtain the map width from ECS directly. Okay. So this is in spawner. Spawn entity. Grabs map width like this. Oh, I'm looking, I don't see it in the use, but I probably did a star. Yeah, I used create star here. Okay. So this should be, we grab the map. And then we get the width. Isn't it already use size? I'm going to go check. Oh, it's not. It's I32. Okay. So then I'm confused as to why we had to specify as I32. If it already is I32. And why didn't Clippy complain? Okay. We get the width, and then we just change this to width. Right? That's all we need to do. And then we have to drop it, apparently. Standard memory drop map. Maybe we can't do this until we've dropped the reference to the map. The issue in save load system is also easy to fix around line 102. That's not going to help. You can replace map count with world map width times world map height as use size. Okay, so that's in save load. Map count. What line is this? This is line 196. Okay. So world map width times world map height. Oh, as use size. Like that. And then we have a delete me. Oh, that's just this. Okay. Main RS also needs some help in tick, which I moved over to game state or something like that. Game state. Yeah, right here. Magic map reveal code is a simple fix. Magic map reveal. Oh, there must be another one then. Yeah, this one here. Map is fetch mute the map. 0 map width. And then this is map height. That's it. Okay. Down around line 451, we're also making map with map new 1. We want to introduce a map size here, so go with map new 1 6464. Size doesn't really matter since we'll be replacing it with a map from a builder anyway. Okay, this one I think really is in main. Map new. Yep. Okay, 6464. Open up player RS and you'll find we've committed a real programming sin. We've hard-coded 79 and 49 as map boundaries for the player movement. Let's fix that. Okay. Map blocked. There we go. Okay, yeah, here's the 79 and 49. So we'll say map width -1. And this will be map height -1. That's interesting, though, that we were able to ignore that because we had a 6464 map here, right? And it didn't seem to restrict the player movement. I can still go down all the way. Oh no. Oh, I didn't even notice that. And I'm blocked right there. I can't go any further south or down. We did end up with a one of our prefabs. That's funny. Yeah, I can't go any further down than this. Okay, yeah, that's hard-coded. We've unhard-coded it now. Okay, finally, expanding our map builders folder reveals a few errors. We're going to introduce a couple more before we fix them. In map builders mod, we'll store the requested map size. Okay. Instruct builder map. Where's builder map? I must have gone right past it. Yep, it's right here. Okay. We have spawn list, we have map, starting position, rooms, corridors, history, and now we're going to put width and height. And you got to spell it right. Okay. We'll then update the constructor to use it. Oh, and builder chain. Builder chain creates a builder map. Alright, so this will take a new map width and height. And we'll just add those here. Okay. And we'll need to adjust the signature for random builder to accept a map size. Okay, so it takes a new depth, a random number generator, and then a width and a height, and returns a builder chain. And that's going to get spread out when we save. Okay. We'll also look at waveform collapse and make some fixes. There it is. Basically, all of our references to map new need to include the new size. Okay. That's box new. Here's map new. So we're doing 6464. So we're hard coding that now. And that's it. If you program the project now, you can roam a 64 by 64 map. Okay. So let's run a bunch of checks here. And it failed. Oh, there is no more map width. So that needs to change. Alright, well, let's fix that. Do we have the map here anywhere? We do, so this needs to change to map.width. Any other places that is? Nope, okay. And what is this? There is no more map height and no more map width. So we'll kill both of those. What else? Random builder needs 6464. It didn't talk about that, did it? We adjusted the signature, but we didn't change any place that called it. That's all right. We're finding them. Here's random builder. There's waveform class. Oh, I only changed one of the map news. I didn't change them all. Okay, so let's change them all to 6464. Right. And here's another one. And finally, width and height. Yeah, I missed that here. That was easy to miss. And then random builder, width and height. Yep. Okay, so let's try this. Down to one error, not bad. Map height and map width are not here anymore. This is a simple map builder. We should have self height. Oh, self width. Width there, and then self height. That's it. Oh, it doesn't know that. Oh, it's in build data. Build data dot map dot width and build data map height. Okay. All right, so that checks. Let's generate the WASM and see if we can actually run around a 64 by 64 map before we starve to death. All right, here we go. And now we should be able, oh, this is one of these maps. We should be able to go all the way down. Let me grab the this magic mapping thing, and we can see that we can go down to the bottom of the map now. Yeah. Oh, well, not really. We can't tell because this is all right. Let's generate a new map. This is a bad map. I don't like this map either. There's something wrong with the map generation code for that. As well as this. This is very... But I'm on the bottom of the map, which is neat. Right? And we can kind of work our way through here. Okay, so we're able to get the 64 by 64 just fine. We can see one of our prefabs over here. Yeah. Okay. That seems to be working. So I think we've successfully done that. We change the line into different sizes, you can roam a huge map. Definite downside of a huge map and rolling largely open area is that sometimes it can be really difficult to survive. Okay. So let's check this in. Fully decouple map size from screen size. Okay. So what's revisiting drum map for progressive map rendering? If you keep the huge map, open main RS and set const show map gen visualizer to false from false to true. Congratulations, you just crashed the game. Oh, so that's probably something that we... So I turned it off because it was taking too long to start up a new thing, but... Is this true here? If I change this back to true, will this start failing on us? But only if we have a huge map? Let's find out. Well, it hasn't crashed. It's just, it displays off the bottom. Which, you know, who cares? It displays off the bottom. Yeah, it seems to be working okay. So there must be some code path that it has to go through in order for it to crash properly. Alright, so what is... Oh, maybe only if it's huge? Alright, let's try making it huge. Where do we call random builder? So let's change it to 128 and see what happens. Go here. Togglebit, thank you for the raid. Go enjoy your food. Alright, so we just generated a 128 by 128 map. It seems to be working okay. I'm not sure where the panic is going to come into play that they're warning us about. Just a bubble, hi. Hey, welcome to the stream. And thank you for the follow. Alright, so we're just wandering around this map, getting hit by traps. So let me reveal the full map here with the spell. There it goes. But yeah, I mean they're saying that it's going to panic when we do the right? Let me read that again. The definite downside of the huge map is the large open area, right? And if I set show map gen visualizer to true, I crash the game because we never adjusted the draw map function that we're using to verify map creation to handle maps of any size other than the original. Is that true? I thought we fixed all of that. On an ASCII terminal, we can't simply render the whole map and scale it down to fit, so we'll settle for rendering a portion of the map. All right, so let me see what they're talking about. If we look at the draw map function, which I think is in tutorial map.rs, draw map. Yeah, it's here. And we did adjust this here. But we are drawing out of bounds, right? Out of screen bounds? Maybe that's what they're concerned about. But let's add this map render debug map into our camera code and see how this goes. Where's a good spot for it? That's render camera. Yeah, let's put it right after that. Map. And the context is going to be RLTK. So this is when we're running through debug map. So yeah, so it's saying render debug map down here. So it's going to be slightly different. It's a lot like our regular map drawing, but we lock the camera to the middle of the map and don't render entities. Okay. Get char size really means get screen size, not the size of the characters. And then we have center X and center Y, and that's yeah, that's all of this stuff here. Okay. So if I just grab that, I don't like the fact that we're duplicating code. Why don't we just call oh, because we don't have a player position yet because we're debug. I got it. Okay, I understand now. So that's unfortunate. We have to duplicate the code, but maybe we can refactor that in a little bit. -1, and then map height is map height -1, and then we're going to do the same trick where we did a for ty comma, what was it? We did it before. Trickery89, thank you for the follow. We had this before. Oh, it doesn't like that. I gotta put a backslash there. I could have sworn that we had something along those lines of I'm gonna look for it anyway. Pushpan KD. Pushpanked. Thank you for the follow. Now, where is this code? Because I know we did it last time. It was Friday, so now I forget where it was. And of course, ty. Yeah, here we go. Y comma ty in min max y enumerate. Right, and so that's the same kind of thing here. And it is in camera. I was right. 4.star ty. There. So this is the same thing we're looking to do, which saves us this extra little step. And we do the same thing for x. And then if tx, what are we doing here? Reveal tiles, glyph foreground background, xset, show boundaries, all this stuff. So it's exactly the same. Just like that. All right, who did that? Jay Favaretti. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, so this is the same exact code except, yeah, gray black, just like that. Okay, so then Carco check it's going to say that, oh, it doesn't say that we're not using it. Okay, but we'll use it over here where we call draw map, and I don't think it's in main anymore. Yeah, it's probably in game state. I refactored that. All right, so this is saying if self mapgen index is less than history len, I don't have that. Okay, so we can add that if self mapgen index is less than self mapgen history len. I don't know how that didn't end up being part of this. Is there another call to draw map somewhere? Nope, that's the only call to draw map in here. Okay, let's regenerate the WASM file and see if we now look at the middle of the map as it's being generated. Okay, refresh. It's not really the middle, is it? Because I still see the edge of the map here. So let's take a look at that code again. It's in camera, right? Let's render camera here. Map width and map height over 2. So we're doing that. We should have gotten the middle of the map. And if I just do this, it's the middle of the map, right? That's where the player is starting. The player doesn't start always in the middle of the map. I think this is just generating the map coordinates based on, yeah, just the map width and the map height. So we should be rendering we should be rendering the middle of the I'm going to print out what the map width and map height are here. Maybe something got messed up. Width of this and height of this, and we can take a look at what those are. Map width and map height, and we should see one of these come out for every time we draw the map, or every time we add something to the map. So there'll be a whole bunch of them, but that's okay. It should be it should be constant. All right, so let's refresh this. Oh, we're not seeing anything come out. I didn't change the call to draw map. Duh. That was dumb. This should be camera. Oh, was it render debug map? I got distracted by that if. That was silly. Okay. Let's try regenerating this WASM file and see. Now we should see the console logs. Refresh. Yeah. So now we're seeing it. It's 128 by 128, and we're kind of in the middle of it. Okay. It's a funky looking map. And it takes a long time to create. Oh, and then it does the waveform collapse. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. The waveform collapse shrinks it to 64 by 64. Wow. Yeah. Down here in 64 by 64. And if we start this new game, after all that work, this is the resulting map. Ha! That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Okay. I'm going to take that console log message out. I don't have that here. Camera? Nope. All right. We don't need that line anymore. Okay, so I think figured out what the bug was, but we don't know why. Whether or not we should change the waveform collapse code, right? Right now the waveform collapse code is fixed at 6464 because of the change we made. Where is it? Waveform. Yeah. All our map new needs to include a new size. I thought we did that. So map new. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this should be build data map width and build data map height. And I need to do that for the other ones as well. Build data map width and build data map height. I don't know why I had it in my mind to do 6464 for those guys. Okay, so that's all of those. And that checks. Okay, so that was probably the bug there. And then we fix that. We do need to decide what kind of map to make. I do have it at 128, 128, but that's all right. We'll set the map to something reasonable. Okay, 80 by 80, sure. Oh, it was in main. 128? No. Here it is. Okay, 80 by 50. So whenever we generate a new world map, it's always going to be 80 by 50. And we're done. In this chapter, we've made it possible to have any size of map you like. We've reverted it to a normal size at the end, but we'll find this feature very useful in the future. We can scale maps up or down, and the system won't mind at all. Okay, so we actually finished section 4, or section 3. Section 3 wrap up. So let's check this in. Malarkey. Arcanus Duda. Hi. Okay. Let's see. Get status. Get add source. Get commit. Oh, let's check in with Clippy. I forgot about Clippy. Should be clean though. We didn't do too much. All right. Get add. I did get add. Get commit. Finished section 3. In tutorial. All right, let's push that up. All right, so we did a bunch of things now. And now the next section is called Making a Game. And I did take a peek ahead to see what was going on. And this first section is going to be mostly just reading about what we're doing, what we're going to be doing, as opposed to writing Rust code. So this is all talking about, let's start here. The tutorial has followed 3 sections: make a skeletal game, add some essential genre features to the game, and building lots of maps. So now we're going to start a series of articles that makes a cohesive game from our framework. So we're going to still use this framework that we've developed in all of this. We're not going to start from scratch. It would be nice to start from scratch only because it would help reinforce all the stuff we learned. But the way this tutorial works is we're going to just keep going, moving forward with what we've got. So the Berlin interpretation. So I'm not 100% familiar with what that is, but it has to do with what the difference is between a roguelike and a roguelite and the various rogue-ish games there are. Roguelike refers to a genre, not merely like rogue, but it's represented by the canon, Adam, Engman, Crawl, NetHack, and Rogue. And different games have different levels of what they consider part of what parts of a roguelike they implement and still call themselves a roguelike. So yeah, procedurally generated environments, permadeath, it's turn-based, it's grid-based, it's non-modal, which means you don't have different... You do have modes in most roguelikes anyway, like if you go into a shop, everything stops and you do the shop stuff, right? But the rest of the world is everything's live, so to speak. Complexity, resource management, hack and slash, and exploration and discovery. Oh man, I thought I eliminated all those phrases that there we go, banned. All those by the viewers phrases, but I guess I missed one. All right. Right, so I'm not going to worry about the exact interpretation. We're going to look at what this tutorial is going to be doing. So we are going to hit most of the stuff from the Berlin stuff. And we just looked at that from the other page. I didn't read it out though. So now in this next chapter is going to be the design document. Let's close that out so we have a slightly wider screen. So if you plan to finish a game, it's important to set out your objectives ahead of time. Traditionally, this has taken the form of a design document, a master document outlining the game and smaller sections detailing what you want to accomplish. In this case, it also forms the skeleton of writing the section. The skeleton of writing the section. I don't know what that means. There are thousands of online references to writing game design documents. The format really doesn't matter so long as it acts as a guiding light. Because this is a tutorial, we're going to make the game design document a skeleton for now. Palooka, thank you for the follow. Just a Bubble says these bots are sneaky. Yeah, they change up their messages slightly each time, right? I gotta add a few more phrases to the block list. Rusty Roguelike is a 2D traditional roguelike that attempts to capture the essentials of the genre as it has developed since Rogue's release in 1980. Turn-based, tile-based, and centered on the adventurer's descent into a dungeon to retrieve the amulet of Yala, yet another lost amulet. Okay. Cute. The adventure battles through numerous procedurally generated levels to retrieve the amulet and then must fight their way back to town to win the game. So, okay. A net hackish. Player controls one major character, hero protagonist. Okay. So if you have not yet read Snow Crash, I recommend you read Snow Crash. It's a novel by Neil Stevenson, and the main character's name is Hero Protagonist, but spelled H-I-R-O. So, yeah. Hacker and pizza delivery driver for the Mafia. If that sounds like fun, check it out. I enjoyed it when I read it many years ago. So that's a reference to that, I imagine. Human NPCs will range from shopkeepers to fantasy RGB staples such as bandits, brigands, sorcerers, etc. Stretch goal is to have NPCs belong to factions. Ideally, NPC AI should be more intelligent than a rock. That's good. This is not a story-heavy game. Sorcerer Kings crafted the Amulet of Yala. Amulet of Yala made the good folks last hope. Alright, so just basically go get this thing. We'll aim for traditional D&D dungeon bash with traps, monsters, and the occasional puzzle. There's no horizontal progression. You don't keep any benefits from previous runs through the game, so you always start in the same place as a new character and gain benefits for a single run only. Okay. You go both up and down. Progression on levels is preserved until you find the Amulet of Yala, at which point the universe truly is out to get you until you return home. Alright, like NetHack. Alright, as a starting guide, consider the following progression. Game starts in town, you spelunk into caves, limestone caverns, gives way to a ruined dwarven fortress. Beneath the dwarven fortress lies a vast mushroom forest. To a dark alien city. You get to a citadel with the portal to the abyss. The abyss is a nasty fight against high-level demonic monsters, and then you find the Amulet of Yala, and you fight your way back up to town. Okay. Travel should be facilitated with an equivalent of town portal scrolls from Diablo. I believe what this means is that if you're down a whole bunch of levels deep in the dungeon, you want to just be able to read a scroll and pop back up to the town level and then return back down to the dungeon level. You don't want to have to walk all the way back up and then go all the way back down. That's tedious and annoying and not fun, right? So we're trying to preserve the fun by adding this town portal scroll. Make sense? I think so. Gameplay should be very traditional, turn-based dungeon crawl. Okay. The murder hobo experience. In a real game design document, we'd painstakingly describe each element. For the purpose of the tutorial, we'll just add to the list as we write more. Alright. Obtain lots of cool loot. Loot is only cool in the way it gets used, right? And then earn bragging rights for your score. Okay. I'm just scanning over this stuff here. I'm not reading the whole thing. We get tactical combat, stat management, long and short-term resource management. Enough depth to spur build discussions. So basically getting people to talk about the game outside of the game, like on Reddit or something. Items and power-ups with wearables, consumables, different kinds of weapons, different kinds of food, loot and junk to sell and scrap. Items should have a weight, and inventory management becomes a skill. Until then, it can be quite loose and ready. Okay. Magical items shouldn't immediately reveal what they do beyond being magical. So identification is part of the game, I guess. Items should be drawn from loot tables. And then as you defeat enemy, you earn experience points. And then losing is fun. Art style is ASCII. We're not going to have any music or sound. Game will be written in Rust using RLTK-RS for its backend. And we're not going to market it or fund it or localize it or have any other ideas. Okay. So that was a very brief tour through the design document. And I don't think we're going to be worrying about the actual design, because this is more about learning how to do the various roguelike necessities in Rust so that we can write our own game eventually. And we're going to learn how to do that. Oops, I meant to do this. As we go through all of these chapters here, we're going to be learning all of the stuff we need to know, and then once we're done, we'll make our own roguelike, and I think that'll be fun. If you've ever played Dwarf Fortress, one of its defining characteristics under the hood is the raw file system. Huge amounts of the game are detailed in the raws, and you can completely mod the game into something else. Other games such as Tome 4 take this to the extent of defining scripting engines for everything. You can customize the game to your heart's content. Once implemented, raws turn your game into more of an engine. Okay. Golden Hair Dafo, thank you for the follow. That's called data-driven design. Okay. I think I understand where they're coming from here. The downside of WebAssembly. So I'm using WebAssembly for doing all this. That way I can run it in the browser, and I don't have to worry about changing my display up, and I can just do everything from the browser tab. I have a build script here, which just generates the WASM, runs the WASM bindgen on it, and then it generates in here the WASM, the JavaScript for it, and the WASM to that it loads. And you can see this tab over here running a basic HTTP server, so I can just hit refresh on my local host here. So hopefully we can keep that. WebAssembly doesn't make it easy to read files from your computer. Right, we ran into that issue before. That's why we started using the embedding system for assets. Otherwise you have to make a bunch of hooks to read game data with JavaScript calls to download resources, attain them as arrays of data, and pass the arrays into a WebAssembly module. There are probably better ways to do it than embedding everything, but until I find a good one that also works in native code, we'll stick to embedding. It gets rid of one advantage of data-driven design. You still have to recompile the game. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to do that. Okay, deciding upon a format for our raw files. In some project, I've used scripting language Lua for this sort of thing. It's a great language, and having executable configuration is surprisingly useful. That's overkill for this project. We already support JSON in our saving and loading of the game, so we'll use it for raws also. Alright, so we get to start writing some code that will do this. So I've already pushed this up. We're all clean. So at this point, we're going to be working on just this roguelike instead of going through a tutorial of roguelike concepts. So it's unfortunate I named the directory tutorial. Oh well. I'll live. Okay, so in the current game, it should give us clues as to what to put into these files. Right, so this is what our health potion looks like right now. So they're saying in our JSON we could just do this. Brizzy09 says the alternative to embedding is an asset provider that uses HTTP requests on the web target. There isn't a way to do it the same way on web and native, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to get at here. To make a bunch of hooks to read game data with JavaScript calls to download resources. Yeah. One of the advantages of embedding everything is then you can just upload it to a static site provider, like, github.io. You can just throw the entire thing up on GitHub pages, and you don't have to worry about running back-end servers and stuff like that. It just all works. Okay, so we're going to create a directory called raws. Done. Okay, in this directory, create a new file, spawns.json, and we'll temporarily put all of our definitions into one file. This will change later, but we want to get support for our data-driven ambitions bootstrapped. So in this file, we'll put the definitions for some of the entities we currently support, and we'll start with just a couple of items. Raws spawns.json. Okay, so it looks like we got two opening braces, and Vim is automatically indenting for us. Items doesn't like that, does it? Oh, there we go. Okay, we have name, health, potion. Renderable is going to be glyph of that, foreground of FFOOFF, and a background. I guess one of the disadvantages is here is we don't get the nice color names like we had. Order is 2. Oh, you can't put a comma there. But you can there. Fritzy says, yeah, embedding is totally fine. You just have to get used to recompiling stuff often. That's an issue. You can always put your static assets into a separate libcrate and make it way faster to recompile when you only change assets. Yeah, that's true. That's not a bad idea. Maybe when we get far enough along with this, we can do that. Oh, and it's a text of 8. Close consumable, close the items, and we'll create one more item. And I'm just going to copy paste. Oh. No, it's not there. There it is. Okay. And this is a magic missile scroll. I'm going to change the color here. The order is 2. It's consumable, has effects of ranged and damage. Yeah, I know. Let me fix that. And damage. And this changes to 6. And this changes to 20. like that. And then we close. Oh, there's a square bracket here. So we need the matching square bracket here, like that. That's interesting. There's a square bracket here, and there's two open braces before it. I don't know. Maybe I have this lined up wrong. Or maybe there should only be one open brace. Maybe that's a typo. Let's try that. Or maybe we're going to add more. Oh, the glyph is different from the scroll. Thank you, Sfafi. I forgot about that. The glyph is different. There we go. The CEO Shikar says I did it correct and the book is wrong. Thank you. Okay, I will leave it like this then. So I am familiar with the JSON format, but we're wrapping the whole thing in braces. We have items array. So we have these two items with the health and magic missile scroll. Items may have a renderable structure and they're consumable. And then we list the effects of a consumable here. Okay. We'll be getting a lot more to spawns list eventually, but let's start by making these work. That makes sense. Okay, so save that file, and we're going to make a new directory under source raws. And we're going to create a new file called mod. So we need rltk embedded resource raw file. It's going to be raws spawns JSON. And then we're going to say, I'll just copy and paste that because I don't want to type that in again. Load raws. And this is link resource. Oops, embedded resource. And it's the same exact line, otherwise, good. And the top of main, add it to the list of modules we use. Pub mod raws. Okay, let's see if that checks. It does. Hopefully that worked. In our initialization, add a call to load raws. All right, so somewhere we have a map new. Here it is. So we just say raws, load raws. Does that check? It does. The spawns JSON file will now be embedded into your executable, courtesy of RLTK's embedding system. All right. Let me see if I can build the WASM as well. Because all I did was run a build check. I didn't do anything else. Yeah, seems to have worked. Okay, that's good news. Parsing the raw files. This is the hard part. We need a way to read the JSON files we've created and turn it into a format we can use within Rust. So going back to mod.rs, we can expand the function to load our embedded data as a string. So we're going to go back to here, right? And now we'll say, oh, we're going to change this here. We're going to say, let raw data is RLTK embedding embed dot lock dot unwrap dot get resource of this thing. Oh, like this, to string, and then unwrap that. Just a Bubble says, are you using ToggleBits Toggle Rust plugin to get the errors and warnings? I am. I tweaked it a little bit for my own purposes, but it is essentially ToggleBits, yes. So I can just hit a key and then it runs check and it gives me all the warnings here. No method named unwrap. Okay, so that's exciting. Oh, maybe because of the 2 dots? Nope, still doesn't like it. Okay, so what did we do wrong? Embedding embed, lock, unwrap, get resource unwrap. And it's saying this doesn't exist. Huh. Okay. Well, it works without it. Maybe that's a typo in this document. Again, let raw string, the standard string from UTF-8, raw data. Expect. What? 8 string. Oops. Okay. And that checks. We're getting 2 warnings because we're not using raw string. All right, so now we need to actually parse the JSON into something else, something usable. Just like in our save load system, we can do this with serde. For now, we'll just dump the results to the console so we can see it did something. Okay, let's do that. Oops, it should be :raws. Wait, where is this coming from? Oh, that's not till down here. Okay, so we're just creating it we're making it up as we go along here. Raw string, expect, unable to parse JSON, and then RLTK console log, format. We're just going to dump it as a debug string decoder. Decode R. There we go. All right, so for clarity, we'll put the classes that actually handle the data into their own file, itemstructs.rs. Okay. Raws itemstructs.rs. All right, and this is just going to be use serde deserialize. And then derive, deserialize, and debug. And we're going to do that 4 times. Okay. Pub struct raws. Pub items as a vec of item. Then pub struct item is pub name string. Pub, oops. There we go. Renderable is an option renderable. And pub consumable is an option consumable. Like that. And then we have a renderable. Which has a glyph, a foreground, a background, and an order. So this is all data that we're going to be generating to generate the spawns. Pub struct consumable. Okay. The top of this file, make sure to include, yeah, we did that. That was right there. To include the types we need. Also notice that we've included debug. Yep. So we can print it out. We did a lot of things on option. That's fine. And if I run the project now, ignore the game window, watch the console, you'll see the following. Okay. Will this actually work? Yeah, we need to add raws here. Does it just use raws? I might say we might have to like create raws or something like that. Raws. Nope. Create raws. I can never figure out Rust's thing. There's no raws in raws. Are you sure? Oh, it's item structs. Nope, still doesn't like that. Could not find item structs in raws. I did say in main. Oh, Raphael, thank you for the raid. I missed that. I need to add a sound effect for that. Yeah, pubmod raws is right here. So it should be able to find it here. Can I do that? No. Can I global import a module into itself? Oh. So I need some way of... Yeah, maybe it needs to be here. If I do this, pub mod raws pub use raws : star. And then something else over here. Yeah, then maybe I can say use raws or create raws. Nope, still can't do it. Raws. One more try. Nope, can't do it. We're using it. We're adding it here. We should be able to grab it here. Let me see. There's other things that we use. If I go in tutorial, for example, there's a million different things. And if I look at camera, for example, oh, super. Maybe I got to put the word super on there. Because each one of those is in this module. So let me try super. Nope, that still didn't work. See, it says help. A similar name exists in the module raws. So I can't say mod raws here. And then use raws. That won't work. Yeah, because it's got to be there. A similar path exists. Create raws. And I tried that. Create raws star. No, and it doesn't like that. Can't glob import a module into itself. Can I do this? Nope. Not found in create raws. Oh, not mod. I want source raws item structs. So pub struct raws is definitely here. All right. Is there something I had to put into my cargo toml file to get it to work? No. Oh, I forget how I got this to work in the other thing now. This is fun. Yeah, so it's not found in create raws. I look in source lib. I have tutorial, map builders, and raws. So it's the same thing I have here. Map builders, raws, and tutorial. So that means that tutorial or map builders should be able to access anything using the yeah. So it uses super : and then grabs the things out of super : So let me try the super one more time. And see if that pulls in enough stuff. No. Yeah, and this is saying that you can't import the module into itself, which makes sense. And I bet you if I put just this raws thing in here, it'll complain about items not existing. Deleting that line. Oh, and I can't find deserialize. Okay. Backseating is allowed. Yes, if you know now is what I'm doing wrong, I would very much appreciate any help you could give me, because I'm not sure how to get this thing to recognize the other file. We have two files in here, source raws and item structs, and I want to get all the item structs info into here so I can use it. And it's obviously not that, and it's not this. And if I say crate, then it doesn't find raws anywhere. So your structure is as follows: lib raws item structs. Okay. So you're saying RT there? But this'll just, yeah, it doesn't know that. Because the lib is part of the crate, right? So that's what I get when I say crate or super. Oops, and then I hit F1 and get that little window popping up. Yeah, so it knows that super raws is itself, but I should be able to pull in the item structs from the existing. To access struct raw, you have to mod item structs and then use item structs raw. In here. Okay. And now we can't call load raws. Oh, because I pulled that out here. Pub mod raws. All right. Thank you very much, Nellis. Much appreciated. I was going bananas. Raws mod. So that's interesting. You have to include the mod in itself from the same directory in order to use it. Okay. Maybe one of these days that'll stick in my brain, because I know I've gone through this hassle before and figured it out before, and it just apparently didn't stick. So maybe this time it'll stick. All right, so we should be able to now generate the WASM file. Now it says you have to include the submodules. Okay. I think I get it. And we'll find out the next time we create a new submodule whether or not I got it. All right, so let's do this, and then we should see in the console here a nice little panic. Runtime error, unreachable. Okay. We don't have any other info, so that means we have to go to our code here and generate the panic this way. That's one of the downsides of running the WASM, is sometimes you get, a nice little error message on line and a file and line number, and sometimes you just get this. So this is in mod R10. We got an unwrap on a none value. Okay, on line 10. I don't have anything running, right? So it couldn't find this resource, is the bottom line. And it couldn't find it either through the WASM thing, let's close this, which is here, or through the other one. So The way we do the embed resources is we tag it like this. And the way we were loading it in was this link resource. Oh, maybe it needs to be linked as well. Maybe this line still needs to be here. I thought it needed to be replaced. Oh, I didn't rebuild the WASM. Let's rebuild the WASM and see if that worked. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was the bug. I forgot to link it. Okay. So we can see their health potion, and we can see the magic missile scroll right here, just dumped out as debug output, which is fine. That's what we were looking for. Right. This thing here. Yep. So storing and indexing our raw item data. So having this largely text data is great, but it doesn't really help us until it can directly relate to spawning entities. We're also discarding the data as soon as we've loaded it, right? We want to create a structure to hold all of our raw data and provide useful services such as spawning an object entirely from the data in raws. So now we're going to create a new file called rawmaster.rs. And here's we're going to find out whether or not I remember how to include the file properly. Master.rs. Okay, so we're getting back into specs here. Create components star and then use. See, they've got use super raws. I can't spell super. Like that. Of course, this is going to check because we're not using rawmaster anywhere. But we'll see if this works based on the fact that it got included in mod.rs. It should. Okay. So what is this doing? We make a structure called rawmaster. It gets a private copy of the raws data and a hash map storing the item names and their index inside raws.items. The empty constructor does just that. It makes a completely empty version of the rawmaster structure. Well, that's what they're talking about here. And then load just loads everything in. Okay. It'd be nice to just use the default constructors for that, because those are all just default raws. And self item index is hash map new. Oh, so we're just okay. We either create an empty one or we create one from data. Self raws items iter enumerate self item index insert item name clone I. Be nice if we could just use the item name and just as a reference into the existing data so we don't have to clone it. Okay. And accessing the raw data from anywhere. This is one of those times it would be nice if Rust didn't make global variables difficult to use. We want exactly one copy of the raw master data, and we'd like to be able to read it from anywhere. You can accomplish that with a bunch of unsafe code, but will be good Rustaceans and use a popular method, the lazy static. This functionality isn't part of the language itself, so we need to add a crate to cargo.toml lazy static. Okay. We'll just save that. Cargo toml lazy static, oops, lazy 140. I guess we could look to see what the latest one is. Oops, loops.rs. And use the latest one. Oh, it is 140. Okay, I guess it hasn't changed in a while. Well, let's hope nobody messes around with it like the colors thing in JavaScript. All right, now we do a bit of dance to make global safety available from anywhere. At the end of main's RS import section, we add this. So I don't think we need to do this anymore, right? This is an extern crate, no longer needed. And macro use is no longer needed, I believe. Captain Meat 3, thank you for the follow. Just a Bubble says if you're importing macros, you need it. Oh, okay. Interesting. I remember reading somewhere along somewhere that we didn't have to use extern crate anymore, but macro use. Safafi says I would recommend the tool Cargo Edit. I think I do have that installed actually. Cargo add lazy static and it'll add the latest version to your cargo to toml. Yeah, I think I might have that. Cargo Edit. No, I don't. Maybe in one of my other environments. Because I remember doing cargo add blah before. And then Just a Bubble says it also works in the Rust Vim. You can say cargo add lazy static directly. It's compiling something, so it must not have been installed before. All right, but so this macro use, so extern crate. Let me just, while that's building, let's say Rust extern crate versus use. Sure. Safafi says instead you can use lazy static : lazy static wherever you need it, instead of doing the macro use thing. All right, we can give that a shot. That means we only need it in this file here instead of in main. So this is in mod.rs, and I assume I'm still in the raws stuff. Wow, this is taking a while. Part of the problem is, of course, that I'm running the compiler on the same machine that I'm running Pretzel Rocks and OBS, so it's not as fast as it could be. There's Cargo Edit, finally got there. And this is from 2019. As of Rust 2018, in most cases you won't need to use extern crate anymore because Cargo informs the compiler about what crates are present. Use bar as a shorthand for fully qualified symbols. All right. So we have that. And now it's there. Okay. So let's just try to see if we can do a... Uh-oh. Here we go. Oops, files. What was it called? Raw master? Oh no, we're modifying the mod, right? In mod.rs. Raws mod.rs. There we go. So we want to see if we can just say use lazy static : lazy static, like that. We do need to say mod raw master to pull it in. Pub use raw master : star, and then use standard sync mutex. And then we're going to try this here. Lazy static, bang. Pub static ref raws mutex raw master equals mutex new raw master empty. All right. Safafi says this is right. Cargo check says, survey says, I mistyped empty. All right, so that worked. So we have 4 warnings, probably because we're not using raws and a couple other things, right? And not using things in raw master, but that seems to have done the trick. So thank you everyone for all your help there. Lazy static macro does a bunch of hard work for us to make this safe. The interesting part is that we still have to use a mutex. So I'm familiar with mutexes. My day job is writing kernel code. So you access a mutex by calling lock. We did that here. And it's now yours until the lock goes out of scope. So our load raws function, we need to populate it. Okay, see the unwrap is gone from up above. Let me scroll up really quick here. There was an unwrap on the lock somewhere. Yeah, this guy. So now if we go down here, that's gone, as it should be. Okay. So in our load raws, we need to populate the lock. Oh, over here, this line. Okay, so in decoder, instead of doing this format thing, we can say raws dot lock. Now we got to unwrap here. Load decoder. Is that going to work? Or is it going to complain that unwrap doesn't exist? No. We got warnings 4. Okay. You'll notice that RLTK's embedding system is quietly using as lazy static itself. That's what the lock and unwrap code is for. It manages the mutex. So for our raws global, we lock it, unwrap the lock, and then call the load function we wrote earlier. Quite a mouthful, but now we can safely share raws data without having to worry about the threading problems. So that means that if I go to source raws raw master, we have this load function that we are now calling through the lock. Okay. And now we're going to try to spawn items from raws. So in raw master RS, we'll make a new function. Okay, but this is because I can see there's no self on here. I'm guessing this is outside. Raws is a raw master. Yeah, why wouldn't this be a self? Why wouldn't we just say self on it? Okay. There's an entity builder. A key. MambaDev, how's it going with you? It's going pretty well here. And Safafi, thank you for the follow and for all your help with the imports and things. Stir and pause of spawn type returns an option entity. All right, so that stuff is coming out of specs prelude. All right, if raws item index contains key, then we're going to say let item template is raws items item index of key. Okay. Wonder why we wouldn't just do it if let sum. Let mod eb is new entity spawn in the specified location. This is different. Where is this coming from? This must be something we're going to be adding soon, because I don't remember spawn type at position. Or maybe it's just been too long since I've done it. All right, where were we? EB is equal to EB with position XY. and then renderable. If let sum renderable. Create components renderable. Didn't we include that? Yeah, we already have create components up here. We don't need to include it twice. So we sure do have that. First line of this function, I misspelled index. Thank you. It's not spelled idnex? Okay, thanks for that. Kagameka, thank you for the follow. All right, so we're doing a renderable with a glyph, a foreground, and a background. RLTK to CP437. Next, unwrap. This is an interesting way to get the nth character, right? We probably can just say nth 0. And I remember Clippy complaining about things along those lines. So RLTK, we'll see if Clippy still complains. From hex. FG. And I'll just copy paste this to get the background. Should be background. And then render order. Renderable.order. That's it. Okay, EB is EB with, so it has to have a name. And again, we can go with the clone instead of storing the data in one spot. That's unfortunate, but that would have been something good to learn how to do, is just, you know, dealing with lifetimes and references. Item. So we know it's an item because we're in the item generator. If let sum consumable, and now we have different types of consumables. EB with consumable, and then we're going to add the effect for effect in consumable effects hitter. Effect name, effect there as stir, and then we're going to match on that. And these are the ones we just put in the JSON file earlier. One parse I32. That's just unwrap. Yep. I guess we're just leaving it empty like that. That's fine. Ranged, it just means each one has to return that type. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a void type because we have an equals. Yeah, okay. EB is EB with ranged, range effect, 1 parse I32, unwrap. Did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. Oh no, that close brace is down there. Okay. So I'm going to put a comma there just to make my brain work. Damage is EB with inflicts. And all of these things, provides healing, range, inflicts damage. All of those have been defined before in our previous code, our components code. Unwrap. And then otherwise, and it's just effect name. Right, and then we just close out a bunch of the braces, return some EB build, and otherwise we return none, and we're done. It's a long function, but actually very straightforward. So if the key exists in the item index, if it doesn't, return none. If it does exist, it adds a name component with the name from the raw file. Oh, I misspelled template. There we go. I misspelled it here as well, because it's an easy typo for me to make. And now we can open spawner RS and modify spawn entity to use it. And we can see if it's a if it's a sum, then we can just return. Okay. So let's do a quick check here before I disappear. Yeah, spawn type at position. I don't think that exists. Spawn type. Yeah. Where did that come from? This is where it's introduced. I don't think it exists anywhere. It certainly doesn't exist in the code anywhere. And if I scroll down, we can add more spawn type entities. They just made it up for this. That's unfortunate, because now we have to figure out where this needs to go. I guess we can just create it in the spawner code. Pub struct spawn type. I'm just going to make it up. At position x i32 y i32. Oh, it's enum, not struct. And then we have to import it here, right? Use create spawner. Now we're down to one error, ORDER. All right, so that fixed the problem. I'm kind of puzzled where this came out. It kind of came out of the blue here. All right, and then where were we? So we were doing this. Okay, let's finish doing that then. And we're in spawn entity. So we still do all this stuff here where we get the map and drop it, and then we'll say if spawn named item was .lock .unwrap ECS create entity spawn.1 spawn type at position x y is sum. I'm just taking a quick shortcut here, and return. Wow, cargo formatted this kind of crazy. I don't like this style at all. And this should be lock with a K. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this, just a closing paren here and then a call to is sum. Blech. Let item result equal this, and then if item result dot is sum. Does that make it look any better? I guess it looks a little bit better with the semicolon there. Okay, let's leave it like that. Otherwise, we're going to do all of these things here. So Fafi says, did they forget to tell you to import from somewhere? Well, I mean, if they did, then it's not any of the files we created, so I just invented it. That's okay. It's easy enough to invent. So I should be able to run this now, right? If I cargo run now, the game runs as before, including health potions and magic missile scrolls. What does this say here? Note that we've deleted the items we've added to spawn.json. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So we got rid of the magic missile, so we don't need that. And the health potion. Right? So those are gone. We can also delete the associated functions. So where is our health potion? So we can delete this. And the magic missile scroll, we can delete this function. And this should still all just check. It does. Philo, thank you for the follow. I can't pronounce the rest of your name, so I'll just say Philo. Please let me know what your preferred pronunciation is. All right, so where are we? Sorry, the magic here is that it calls spawn named item. It uses this to get the safe access to our raws global variable. And if it worked, we return a sum, which is fine. Otherwise, we add the new code. So Vaffy says, yeah, a few chapters later, they say that they told you to add it in Raw Masters RS, but from what I can tell, they forgot to include that anywhere. I mean, it's definitely a living document. A new chapter was added fairly recently. I don't know if I have it here. And then the other thing that we wanted to take a look at, right now we're using specs for everything. It would be nice to have a more modern ECS instead of using specs. But specs is getting us to where we need to go anyway. So maybe when I write my own roguelike, I'll use, I think Bevy has the specs, right? And ECS, yeah. So it'd be good to maybe learn how Bevy's ECS works too. So this all checks. So let's generate the WASM and see if we can find magic missile scrolls and health potions. So I'll hit refresh here. All right, I turned that thing back on. Okay. We still have the scroll of magic mapping. It's kind of an awkward card to navigate. All I'm doing right now is trying to look to see if there's any health potions or magic missile scrolls. And I'm not seeing anything except traps. We also have to add the run command. I keep forgetting to do that. Come on, there's got to be something here, right? Nothing. Wow. This is sad. And now I'm hungry. I'm almost out of food. There was no food that got generated either. That whole level is bad. I'm going to start taking damage from hunger. Oh, and traps, apparently. So traps are spawning just fine. I was able to get a confusion scroll. That doesn't help me. Oh, there's another trap. I'm almost dead. I don't know what that door is doing there. Okay. How are we going to test to see if we get health potions? I'm a little confused on the easiest way to do that. I'll just poke around a little bit. A few more seconds here. I'm almost out of time anyway, so we might have to just wrap things up at this point. Yeah, there's nothing. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to assume everything worked, because that's the best way to do computer software testing. Yeah, we don't need this, right? We did all of that. All right, so I think we can call it a stream. Let's check in with Clippy and clean up any Clippy warnings. Oh, there's a few. Carl G, thank you for the follow. So yeah, let's clean up these Clippy warnings and then call it a stream. I think Togglebit's streaming right now also. I'm also using his little Twitch search. Yeah, he's back up in Rust for creative coding. Nature of code. I don't know this person. We'll have to check them out. All right, so let's clean up these things here. We don't need references for these, and they're all in rosmod.rs. They were 85. Oh, this is in tutorial. Okay. So 24, 26. We don't need the things here, right? And 26, we don't need that there. That's interesting. Yeah, okay, it liked those. And then, oops, it's a space. And then what was line 85, I think? We don't need this. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so let's check in one more time with Clippy. There we go. Okay, so git add source and raws. Oh, and then we modified our cargo toml. Did I add cargo lock? I guess I didn't. I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, cat. I meant to do cat. And now I can't do that. Yeah, okay. Started refactoring spawn code to use JSON files. Git push. All right, so let's take a quick look over here. We did a bunch of stuff today. Fixing all the map, decoupling the map from the window size, and then starting the refactor here for the spawn code. All right, so then when we start tomorrow, we're going to add all the rest of the consumables and see how far we can get with that. Meanwhile, let me take a quick look at this person here and pull them up on my browser and take a look at what they're doing. They've been streaming for 26 minutes, so maybe they'll keep going. I'm going to pause my music so I can hear what they're saying. All right, and then Togglebit's streaming, so you can always hop over to Togglebit if not. But let's see what I'll say hi. Is this in English? It is an English stream. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're streaming, but they're doing creative coding in Rust. So let's go raid them. I got to copy and paste this thing here, right? All right, thank you everyone for hanging out with me, and there we go. We're going to start the raid, and I will see you tomorrow with a little more Rust and Roguelikes. Thank you also for the help, everybody. It's Fafi for the figuring out the includes. Who else helped me with that? Nawis. Excuse me, Nawis. Thank you. Yeah, my voice is gone now. So let's go raid Curino. Take care, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.